You've all seen skydiving videos on YouTube, chopped up with music and beautifully edited, but that's not the reality of hurling yourself out of a plane at almost 100 miles an hour with nothing other than a big piece of fabric stopping you from turning into red mist upon impact with the ground. So today I'm going to take you with me on a skydive so you can see the entire process of hurling yourself out of a plane, everything involved, and feel like you're there with me from a first person perspective. So first up, let's get the kit out and I'll run you through the ins and outs of how it works. So two of the most important bits of kit. Start with the goggles. Obviously you're traveling at terminal velocity by the time you've stabilized outside of the plane, and that's about 120 miles an hour, and your little eyeballs aren't able to cope with that without a little bit of protection, so that's why we've got the goggles on. Kit number 2 is an altimeter. Obviously extremely crucial as well to avoid the red mist part of the video that I was telling you about. We're going to be jumping out at 15,000 feet and we're going to be turning away from each other and deploying our parachutes at around 5,000 feet. And this is crucial to know when those stages are, because very quickly, as you'll see, thousands of feet pass in a matter of seconds, and so your altitude awareness is critical for your success. What else is important?
Parachute.
Oh yeah, the parachute, of course. This guy over here. So in dummy terms, it's a big piece of fabric that stops you hitting the ground too far. But I'm going to talk you through the ins and outs of the basics so you can understand how it works. So the main event, this is the pin that releases the main canopy. I'm going to show you how to deploy it very shortly, but it's very important that this is nice and tight, nice and secure, and it's being packed properly. And we tuck it away here so that nothing can touch it while we're on the plane. Then you've got the reserve canopy up here, so you can release this flap, and this pin keeps the reserve canopy in place. I'll show you how to deploy that as well. But essentially, as soon as you pop that pin out of the way, it's spring loaded and that reserve canopy is going to pop itself out. On top here, a piece of kit that a lot of people don't know about, it's called an AAD, and it stands for Automatic Activation Device. Essentially, if you're traveling too fast by the time you reach 1,500 feet, it's going to automatically deploy your reserve, saving your life. So the reason that's in place is if you're knocked out during the jump, incapacitated, or just something goes wrong, it means you've got a reserve method of getting that reserve parachute deployed without human intervention. So if we flip it around, we've got the risers up here. These are going to be connected to the top of your shoulders, and these are what are connected to the main canopy when it comes out from above. In terms of deployment, I'm going to talk you through the main chute in a second, but this is where you would cut away your main chute if there was a problem, and this is how you would deploy your reserve. So with your right hand, you would grab this, pull away, and that's going to cut away your main parachute if there's a problem with it, if it's damaged, doesn't open properly, the lines are twisted severely, something like that. And this is how you deploy your reserve parachute. By pulling this hard, it will activate that spring-loaded pin that we talked about a second ago. Now onto the strap. So there's two important straps to make sure that you're inside your parachute, and this is one big thing in Hollywood movies that they get very wrong. You see people pop a parachute on in a matter of seconds, and it doesn't work like that. You've got to get your chest strap in and fastened over your chest, and you've also got to get your leg straps in and fastened over your legs and inside your groin. And that is how you ensure that you're fully secured inside your harness. Finally, the most important stage of the process, if everything else goes correctly, this is how you deploy your main canopy, and it's this little toggle down here. It's called the pilot chute. Essentially, it's a small parachute that you pull to the side of you, as you'll see in the video. It will catch air and then pull the main canopy out of the container, thus saving your life. So the biggest question I get asked without a doubt when I tell people I'm a skydiver is, isn't it dangerous? So to answer that, I'm going to hand you over to Ben and Charlie, who are going to talk you through the reality of the dangers of the sport.
My name's Ben. I'm a multi-rated instructor, so I'm a tandem AFF instructor. I've got about 3,000 jumps and I have used my reserve 3 times.
My name's Charlie. I'm a tandem instructor, camera flyer and regular sport jumper. I've got close to 3,000 jumps now and I've never had to use my reserve parachute, thankfully.
So Ben, common misconception, what's the most dangerous part of the skydive?
Definitely when it comes to the landing. The ground hurts. There's a lot of things that could be dangerous when it comes to skydiving, but the landing is a key point.
So more than 2,000 jumps, never use your reserve. You're just lucky and you can forget about your malfunction drills now, right?
Not quite. If anything, I think I'm more conscious of keeping on top of my reserve drills because I haven't had to use them. I want to make sure that I'm competent in that situation when it does come up. Regularly, as a tandem instructor, we have to keep on top of our reserve drills. Another instructor will test us on them. And when it comes to jumping with my sport rig, on the way up in the plane, I'll be practicing it just in case I have to use it on that particular jump.
Every single time?
Every time.
Over 3,000 jumps, people must think you're mental. What do you think is the reason that drives you to skydive all the time?
Oh man, it's something I've been super passionate about from the beginning. I see skydiving as some kind of it's almost like a meditation. So when I'm skydiving, I don't think of anything else apart from what's happening in that moment. It's a massive way to get away from anything that's going on the outside. So I started skydiving when I was 17 years old. I did my first tandem and then I went straight into a course. I did it here and I worked my way up. So I've been skydiving for nearly 7 years now.
Skydiving kind of changed my life because I used to have quite a lot of impulsive pleasures, impulsive traits, impulsive habits, drinking, smoking, things like that. But this kind of gave me the discipline of something to focus on. You can't be hungover when you're just skydiving. Things can go terribly wrong. You need to be on top of your fitness. My diet changed, all these habits I used to have.
Ideal having like your work, your hobby and your passion all aligned in one as well.
It's like we're not working here, you know. People just see us working every day and think, say you've got the best job in the world. It's just true, you know, you're giving someone that once in a lifetime experience every day. It's incredibly rewarding, and just giving them that gift is like, it's worth coming in every day. And like, don't look forward to coming to work. It's not a chore to come into work. In fact, on days off, I look forward to coming to work.
Everything is meticulously planned before you can even jump. Wind, visibility, the type of exit, the skydive sequence, altimeter checks, the turn and track away, which altitude you pull at, the emergency procedures, the landing pattern, the list goes on. The consequences are obviously monumental if you mess up, and that's what makes skydiving such a safe sport, because nothing is taken for granted and everything is carefully checked. So insert 2 dehydrated novice skydivers with a rough plan of what we're going to do, which I'm going to keep a secret for now. And without any further ado, let's skydive. All right, this is it, final jump of the day. So I've done 3 so far. This is the 4th and final load for me, and the last load of the day going up. I'm gonna be me as usual, and you're gonna be Ben.
Yeah!
So Ben's gonna be the cameraman. It's gonna be me and Caleb jumping out, and we'll talk you through it the whole way up. So we've got a bus full of fun jumpers. It's the last jump of the day, as I said. There's how many on the jump, Ben?
We've got 14 people on this lift.
We've been taxied over to the runway, and Ben has been the jump master for this run, so everyone knows exactly what order they're going out in. The plane's over here, as you can probably hear. We're about to board it, and then we've got about 15 minutes on the way up to get to 15,000 feet at the top. We are now at 10,000 feet. When we get to 15, this light's going to go red. When it goes green, we're good to go. We're first out of the plane. Ben's going to step out onto the step. Caleb's shitting his pants right now, and he can't hear what I'm saying. Caleb's going to sit down, I'm going to get on top of him, and the rest is going to be chaos. See you in a second.
Yeah, man.
Oh, we're skidding with no wind.
Nice job,
one.
dude. That was awesome.
We were scrappy, weren't we? Caleb was all over the shop. There you go. I hope that got your blood pumping if you've never skydived before and now you're interested in potentially giving it a go for yourself. That jump, I'm glad it went the way it did because it was just a perfect showcase of the power of the relative wind at 120 miles an hour in two instances. One of them was when I did my back loop. You can see it wasn't completely perfect and I just got whipped by the wind at the end there. And also when Caleb and I attempted to dock, you could see he was a bit hesitant on the initial approach. And then as we got centimeters away from each other, we were slightly off level. He reaches down half a meter and just that simple reach down made his body position turbulent and unstable, and so it flipped both of us and meant that it was more difficult to get together. So then that's why I went over to Ben straight after. So now you can see how talented those guys are, dancing around in the wind, the guys that have had 1,000+ jumps relative to Caleb and I, who are on 50-ish jumps each. And so that's not it. If you want to see my progression, how I got into skydiving and the previous videos I've made so far, then I have 3 other videos you can check out. One is getting my solo skydiving rating, talking you through the entire process in 10 minutes. The other is how Caleb and I both got our first formation skydiving ratings, allowing us to jump with each other and other novices. And then finally, I've also got a video of a fun jump I did out in Sydney over Christmas and the New Year, and I'll link that one as well. They're all linked in the description. And if this video was the first of mine that you've seen, then get subscribed because I've got some crazy stuff on the way on a huge trip coming up very shortly in South America. And of course, I've got plenty of videos already on my channel if you fancy checking them out. And I will see you on the next adventure.